Hello, everybody. Wow, that's a big face of me. We're going to be bringing you the information you need to know about me. Believe it or not, we had a 30-minute block to fill, and I was like, why not talk about me? I don't talk about me enough, and I mean that really. Some people say that, and it's like, ha-ha, funny. No, I really do a horrible job, a very horrible job of talking about myself. So with that in mind, we're going to bring up the Comic Book Advocates Network. Hold on, I'm trying to find the right one for you guys. But in the meantime, let's start off the show. This is the 3 p.m. part of the IDEEvent right now. And I am super excited to be bringing you guys this very special IDEEvent. And I'm going to bring up our IDEEvent logo. Here we go. I'm going to allow that. And here we are. All right, I'll see you on the other side of how we're going to start the show, because this is a special news program about me. Let's talk about IDEE.
Let me, IDEE.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the newsroom. Wow, that's very small. So you're behind the scenes with me. This was an impromptu session, so it was dealer's choice. I could do whatever I wanted. And for once, I decided, why not talk about me? I've got something cool going on. So we're going to go into our newsroom now. For you, those who don't know, if you want to see our newsroom, all you got to do is go to the top of our main page. So you go to comicbookadvocates.com, and you'll notice that we're still under the Creators of Written Sins URL. That is on purpose. We are under that URL specifically because of the fact that that is a throwback to the site we once were and how we've come across. And I'm very excited to announce that this was our 4th year. We're heading into our 5th year. I'm happy to be teaming up with IDEEvent, Rising Tide, and of course, Geek Insider, who's bringing you this website that we were showing off just a few seconds ago. Of course, this is Comic Book Advocates right now. And what is Comic Book Advocates? Well, guess what? I have a video to explain. Comicbookadvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that. And you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics, like comicbookadvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics. And we seriously do love comics. And I thank Geek Insider. So at one point, we're going to give some love to Geek Insider and show you about what they're doing and how you can be a part of it. And here's our newsroom right there, and you can see it right here. And we're going to be talking about some crowdfunding. We were on Clever Title Pending, though. Super awesome time. Thank you so much, Brian K. Morris, for inviting the Terraform crew. Of course, you're part of it, but it was a really good interview. I really enjoyed Clever Title Pending. I was on there on Tuesday night. We have it on our site now. Now, this is the IDEE news. You guys learned what IDEE is. So I have a new Kickstarter, and it's all about my original content, the stuff that wound up making me the creator I am. It all began, well, let Rob tell you. Hey, everybody. Rob Andersin here, known as the Uncanny COMiX Indie Devil who advocates for comic books. There was a time I wasn't any of that. I was just a guy looking to create comics. That's what you're going to see. My origin in comic book creating. From the time I used actual newspaper articles and headlines to create a comic, the time I used action figures to tell a story in a comic book, and even the time I was the artist on the comic book. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to show stories about an alternate way that workers' comp could potentially be in the future. Some of these stories you've never seen before. Some of them are going to have explanations, and you're going to get a little bit of an insight. This is my creative journey, and I thank you for taking the time to watch the video and spend some of that creative journey with me. Please check out the rewards. There's a lot of great stuff. And if you're a fan of the things I do, this is your way to find out where it all began. And we're back. All right. So we'll go a little bit more into that. But first, I wanted to take you on a journey to someone else's amazing project. And that's this super awesome, and I've got a video teed up for you. EYVA, it's comic issue #1. It's Mainframe is watching. If you like Black Mirror and cyberpunk, this is definitely something you should check out. And let's play that wonderful bean footage for you. Super excited about that project here. Let's take a little bit of a better look at it right now. Here we go. We're going to go directly to Indiegogo, teleporting us away. And here we are. So take a look at some of this art here. All right. Here we go. Let me make it a little smaller for you guys. Oops, that actually came out. We're good. So we got some great art. Definitely looks beyond beautiful. Just look at that city shot and the detail in that city shot. I absolutely love that. Love the fact that I give credit to Indiegogo. You get to see these little side shots of the things you're going to get. Love the fact you get to see some other alternative pieces of art in here. They're probably part of the book, of course, but we don't get to see them right here, so that's pretty cool. They even got a drawstring bag, which I think is awesome. Love the art in this. Super huge fan with it. And I definitely think you guys should back this project. As a matter of fact, because I have the time today, let's see the video and how passionate the creator Annas is with her own words behind this project. And I know it seems like it's the same video, but I promise you it's not. Let me fast forward it. Here we go.
EYVA is a cyberpunk comic book series based on a love of 80s sci-fi and fantasy fiction. The story is set in the Ardent Nation, an upbeat, stylized technological utopia set in the 23rd century. However, all is not what it seems. Individuality and privacy are rare commodities that only the governing elite are privileged to. So imagine, if you will, social media becoming the governing body of a surviving nation. Everything about you and what you do since the day you were born is automatically streamed onto your timeline. This is then monitored by a totalitarian regime known as Mainframe. Mainframe's prime directive is to compete for technological advancement and for survival in a post-apocalyptic world. In the spirit of fighting cyber terrorism, people of the Ardent Nation are kept on a short leash through the use of surveillance implants. The message is simple: comply with Mainframe's standard behavior protocol or be rehabilitated. It's all about working as a collective for a common cause while suppressing any scope for individual thought and self-expression. EYVA now is very much attached to her way of thinking, and this becomes a thorn in Mainframe's side. She's a highly strung bioengineer who, as we follow her journey of self-discovery, we learn about her past with the reformists and her present agenda, which could lead to the ultimate betrayal. The reformists are a rebellion group in the eyes of the Ardent Nation. Their ideology rejects invasive technology to protect the human spirit and embrace individuality. Ironically, the reformists use an interdimensional portal to keep themselves tucked away from the clutches of Mainframe. EYVA started off as a TV screenplay which explores conflict between differing ideologies. Due to the storyline and the stylized visuals, it naturally evolved into a graphic novel. EYVA is now complete and ready for publication. It's a labour of love that's been brought to life by the epic illustrative skills of Timothy Green II. It's an extraordinary journey, one of which we hope our readers will join us on.
And before we take a quick break, we're going to check out Rob Molitari's Werewolf comic. We're going to give you just a taste of what he's got cooking.
Do you love stories about anti-heroes, supernatural beings like werewolves, vampires, demons, witches, and more? Then Nightwolf is the comic book series for you. Nightwolf has proven to be a fan favorite with its unique take on the supernatural, theology, mythology, and fantasy. The story encompasses elements of horror, magic, and science in a modern setting. Hi, I'm Robert A. Molteri. I'm the creator and writer of Nightwolf and the founder of Lone Wolf Comics. It's been my dream since I was a kid struggling with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia to be in the comic book business. Comic books have helped me learn how to deal with my learning disability. And that's why this project is so important to me, because comic books have been so influential in my life. Born into an outcast breed of werewolves known as the Monokai, 18-year-old Rodney Marcelli is reluctantly thrown into an ancient war between good and evil. With the help of Snowpaw, the pure-blood Monokai, Rod must learn to master his newly found lycanthropy and mysterious kinetic energy power that only he possesses. Rod must fight the Dark Covenant in order to avenge his friends and family and to save the girl he loves from the master vampire Lord Malice. Rodney Marcelli is Nightwolf. For 2016, I launched a failed Kickstarter campaign for Nightwolf issues 1 through 3. I played the game on hard, setting a $20,000 goal. However, I did manage to raise $5,000, but since Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing thing, I didn't get the funds. I didn't let that failed launch stop me, so I decided to raise money on my own by doing freelance web design jobs. After self-publishing Nightwolf issues 1 and 2, I launched another Kickstarter in October of 2019 for Nightwolf issues 1 through 3, with a more reasonable funding goal of $5,000. The campaign successfully overfunded thanks to the amazing 217 backers that I refer to as my Wolfpack. So far, I have written 12 issues of Nightwolf and have published the first 3 issues in print and digital formats. Now I stand ready to publish Nightwolf issue 4, which is 100% complete.
All right. So, let's see what we got. Some comments real quick. Meredith, I love IDEEvent. The art is beautiful. I need to get over to Ningogo. And Meredith says from a different I really love IDEEvent. I want that in my hot little hands. We're going to take a moment for station identification and show love to Geek Insider for doing what they do this weekend with us, allowing us to have a website and being part of the geek awesomeness that is geek culture.
We'll be back right after this quick break. For Geek Insider advertising opportunities, contact advertising@geekinsider.com. We offer space on the website, in the daily newsletter, sponsored posts, and advertising space on our podcast. For details, contact advertising@geekinsider.com.
And we're back. Here it is, the Written Sins Kickstarter. Just want to quickly go over some things. First off, very different Kickstarter. So this is about the older work that I did. Before the Fetish Monsters and More, before the Free Hugs and Spanks, there was the New York Reporter, a comic book that was actually looked like a newspaper. And it was originally printed at Staples on paper. Before there was print on demand, there was Staples. And luckily, we now have Kablam and local printers who are willing to work with us. So we are super excited that the world has changed and become easier. And by the way, you can back this at writtensinscomics.com. And I had done an actual comic book using action figures. That's right. I used action figures to tell a story. It's not going to be the thing that I am necessarily the most proud of artistically, that looks the best. But considering I did this after major back surgery, considering I did this after being forced to basically have to change my entire life because of this horrible back injury. I'm proud of what I did. And hopefully you guys enjoy it too. I also have my one and only artist credit. I will never go back to being an artist, with Gothic Blue lit up. My sister Shorty actually created that. And all this stems from an actual challenge that I had back at New York Comic Con. And if for those of you who remember, when New York Comic Con, I used to also have the special edition. So I had a challenge to make an 8-page, and I believe special edition had to be in April or May. They wanted us to make an 8-page comic by the time New York Comic Con came around. So after major back surgery, I made it happen. And then we later had a Gothic Blue Xmas tale. Unfortunately, the artist flaked out on me, but it did get a little bit of art. So we're going to use what we do have and finish telling that story and show you guys what I was working on. Troll Gate is by the amazing James Eric Hodson. And we're going to be showing that off a bit and showing you guys all about the honest looks of trolling online and how it can really affect people and the long-term effects. And we have Painbox, which is very personal to me. It's actually about a futuristic look into how workers are treated when they get hurt on the job and how their pain really feels when the judges of the case have to experience it for themselves. This is an original unreleased story that is the first part of 3 parts, written back in 2016, recently updated and lettered. And I had actually written it. I had major back surgery in 2014, and I decided to write this 2 years later, having gone through the entire very disturbing process of being injured on the job and how you were treated. And deeper issues later will go into different aspects of it that include people just not looking at you like you're human. If I ever get to tell the story as I want to in entirety. But it all starts here with that. We're also going to have the Advocator. And this is some... Welcome to a special edition of the Indie Comics Report. We're going to be talking about the project that is born from IndieAdvocates.com. That's right, it's the Advocator. I'm going to go over some stuff for you guys today, and we're going to talk about some of the projects that we're cross-promoting with at this point. There might be more at this point. There's just one at the moment, but I wanted to go over that. I definitely wanted to show you guys what you could get. I want to spend some time talking. If you guys want to talk about the Advocator, have a question about the Advocator, please do not hesitate to drop a link so we can talk about it. And we're going to go straight to the Advocator page so you guys can see where we're at. We're not doing too shabby. We're at $400. Let me move it over. $483. We're almost going to be, and I'm going to drop the link in the comment section right now. And feel free if you have any questions to ask. And we're going to be talking about all the project aspects of it. We're going to be on for a little bit, so just ask your questions. I'm here to answer them. We're going to be doing a couple of these. This is probably going to be our brand new segment on Friday till the Advocator is over. And this is going to be what it's going to be. Next week, you'll probably... No, that was actually more painfully longer than it had to be. The Advocator is the poo-poo bladder of indie comics. So those are available as a reward as well. All 3 seasons were... last year we did spring. We did winter, summer, and fall. We didn't do spring because Florida doesn't have spring. There will be another Advocator coming out very soon. So stay tuned. But catch up right now. Get all 3 issues as well as this. And look, I do want to stress this, that when looking through the rewards, there are very reasonably priced rewards. You get the entire digital version of the COMiX Devil. It's over 100 pages for just $7. Yeah, I definitely encourage you to be part of that. And if you don't want the Devil's Tales, as it were, for the Written Sins Comics Volume 1, you can get that with the PDF library, or you can get it. Barbara Unleashed comes with the digital version if you want the Barbara Unleashed, or the Advocator. You get the actual Devils, the COMiX Devils, and the Advocator for just $45. But I'm also willing to do any individual reward tier that you want. Like, what's best for you? Trying to offer everything. I have to get with Terraform because we want to offer a comics pack from all the different creators in a PDF form. Stay tuned for that. That'll be released Monday. And very proud about this. Cat Dad and Supermom, that is part of this project. You can get your copy. I know a few people had asked me about it. And I haven't done great promoting the Indiegogo on demand, but here is actually Cat Dad and Supermom, which you can get now through this Kickstarter, and here's why it's so important to me. An all-ages tale that teaches morals with farts and shows the power of imagination that will entertain everyone in your family, including the parents reading the book. Thank you for hitting play and allowing us to introduce you to Cat Dad and Supermom, the award-winning Farts with Morals storytelling awesome adventure that people seem to love. And we could keep going that way. We could use words that could try to get you to be excited and convinced to buy it, but I'd rather just be honest with you. I'd rather be humble with you and tell you why I created the story. You see that little boy over my shoulder, right over there, and the other side, the Supermom, and the big elephant that farts? All of that is based on my boy. He's a special needs 5-year-old who I love with all my heart. And he has made me a better man and has taught me what unconditional love is. So if this story is about him, the standard had to be higher. That's why I got one of the best artists in the world in Raheel Mohsin. I got Chuck Pinault, who has done such great work as an editor and as a writer himself, to be part of this. Both of them became co-creators because of how much passion went into this. It was about passion for creating a top-notch story that was meant to entertain your entire family, and I think we did that. The rest, they're all keywords. They're all ways to convince you to do it. Truthfully, this is a story that matters to me, and it had to be one of the best stories that I wanted to share with you. It advocates for people who get bullied, and it advocates for the right things to do when you see someone get bullied. It advocates for being a better human being, but it also represents my son. And because of that standard, because of the fact that my son is in this book, it had to be one of the best things I could create, probably in my entire career. Anytime my son is attached to something, it is that high of a standard for me. So if you're looking for a reason to back this Kickstarter, it's because, well, because I love my son, and I wouldn't put anything out with his name on it that wasn't amazing. Thank you for watching, sharing, and backing Cat Dad and Supermom, and Ella Fart never forgets. Matt, I want to know what you thought of it. Matt, definitely some point this weekend, I want to get your feedback on your copy of that. And we, of course, also have Barbara Unleashed joining this. I wanted to showcase Barbara and allow her to be part of this event. She couldn't be part of the Cat Dad Kickstarter, but I know some people had wanted to get their hands on Barbara. So here's your opportunity. Not everyone is born to be normal. Let's go to YouTube. It'll actually be a little bigger. There we go. Not everyone is born to be normal. Some are born to be different. For some, the rules of normal don't fit who they are. For some, life isn't about cheap sexual experiences or cheap highs. Barbara is drawn to things most would not understand, or worse, demonize. Barbara seeks to explore her dark instincts in the New York City underground.
Join Barbara on her coming-of-age tale and watch her journey through the New York City underground. Learn from Barbara how not to become a victim of overeagerness. Back this project to explore the darker instincts of humans. Music provided by byThe. Music used, Dreams, and Once Again.
Now, Meredith asks a good question. Am I trying to avoid the fact that this is about my younger work? No. I'm very proud of the fact that this was my earlier work, and it's not as polished, granted. I think, if anything, I want people to know, and what I'm talking about is Meredith had asked, I noticed your
music provided by byThe. Music used, Dreams, and Once Again.
Sorry about that. YouTube decided to go back off. Meredith said, I noticed you're careful about sharing this, that this is your younger work, Rob. Have you got any pushback about launching on a Kickstarter? Just curious. No one has given me any pushback. I know some people have probably had some comments, but everyone's got comments. But so far, I've found that most people have been very supportive over the idea, even finding it interesting. A few people want to actually interview me about this. The fact that I'm showing off where I began and showing you a lot of my earlier stuff, including, a lot of this is stuff I've created solely by myself, aside from a few editors who did an amazing job of helping me get my words right. So I'm really excited about this. I like that it's my younger work, as it were. I've gotten 11 backers, raised $85. I'm proud. Look, man, this is never meant to be a moneymaker. I'll be happy to make $500. That's what my goal really was. Wasn't supposed to be 50. It was supposed to be 500. I want people to read the amazing journey I feel I've been on through my creations. And I think that you're going to find enjoyment in it. You're going to see things, and some people have made a couple of comments like, wow, that does look like things I've seen later in your work. Your work now a little different, a little more polished, but I can see where the roots of things came from. And I always think that's fascinating, that people can kind of pick up on that. So am I hiding it? No, if anything, I'm embracing it, but I have not seen very much pushback as of yet. I do want to take a minute to just talk about a topic that I'm going to have this weekend, and that's going to be on IDEEvent. We're going to be on the Devil's Advocate show. We're going to be talking, this will be me hosting it. We're going to be talking about, I call bullshit on online cons. And the reason I'm calling bullshit on online cons is I don't think they're living up to the muster. I think there's problems with it. But I'm going to invite other people on to tell me their opinions. Maybe people love the online cons. Maybe I'm missing an angle. So we're going to look at every angle, and we're going to wind up hearing your thoughts on it. Also, help us continue to advocate. While we advocate for thousands of creators and hundreds of projects a year at no charge, the tools we use, such as web hosting, URLs, and computers, have an annual cost. Help comicbookadvocates.com. Please consider donating anything you can to help us continue to advocate and put on advocating programming for everyone to enjoy. Become an advocate for us Become an advocate for us and a sponsor for advocating. Who knows? If we make enough money, maybe we can hire a full-time editor. Aha! Because I'm dyslexic and I could use a full-time editor. And here's the cover that you'll get with our current campaign, Cat Dad and Supermom. Notice the amazing work of Raheel Mohsin, and one of the favorite characters in that, of course, is Potato Butt. This is all available on the Kickstarter right now, Written Sins Volume number 1, including the Aftermath, Barbara Unleashed number 2. And I rarely call it number 2, but this is his work. Not his work. This is an issue 2. Sorry. Someone's asking if I'm live. I'm asking them if they want to come on. I actually think I'm almost out of time. I think Christy Shin is supposed to be on. Let me see if she went live. So, yeah, I rarely call it issue number 2, but it is actually the second part of the story. The reason I don't like calling it issue number 2 is, like a book, I gave them chapter names. And the chapter of this was Aftermath. But you could also get Mentor Search in the first chapter, Fetish Babies, on that. And remember to be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics. comicbookadvocates.com. And INDEE, spelt right, INDEE, stands for Independent, Next-Gen, Diverse, Endless Entertainment. Also this weekend, you're going to be seeing Kickstarter Pause coming from me. This will be on, I believe, on Sunday. You watch the video.
Welcome to Kickstarter Pause. So who wants to play? What is Kickstarter Pause? Well, it's when a guest sits down to watch all the crowdfunding videos we are advocating for, and they hit pause on a video when their interest is lost in that video. This is a fun way to teach creators about the attention spans of individuals and what works and does not work in their videos. Want to be a guest? Have a crowdfunding campaign? Reach out to us, but for now, let's start this program and introduce our guest judge.
Sorry about that. My mute was continued to be muted there. I was saying I'm still trying to check in with Christy Shin, but you guys can see tomorrow. We were going to do the 7 reasons to back it, but I want to keep these shows to 1 hour so we can be professional. Speaking of being professional,
Be a pair. Be professional. Be ethical. Be authentic. Be respectful. Remember, in this industry for comics, be a pair. Art provided by Chris Mad. Look up Chris Mad Art on Facebook today.
and I am sharing it because I want to see if I can get a guest in here. So I have a sudden feeling that we're going to be filling in the 3:30 block, and I only meant to go to actually the 3:30 right now. Our show should have been over. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to tell you about Terraform Comics. Terraform Comics is changing the landscape of comics. Subscribe at terraformcomics.com. Very excited about that. Can't wait to tell you more about the titles we have coming out in the near future. And let me see what else I got for you guys. I uploaded a lot of videos today, so I'm all excited about the different choices I have. Sometime this week on the Creators of Written Sins block, we have Christy is live now. Thanks for holding the fort. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna head off on here. I have held the line. We're gonna close out the show, but before we do, one last thing, and that's about me. Find out who the Devil Advocate is.
It's time to get real about shit and have some hard conversations and rip apart topics to make sure we advocate for every angle of that topic. Welcome to the Devil's Advocate, brought to you by IDEEvent. Give your fandom a recharge, and hosted by the Uncanny Devil Mr. Andersin. Follow all the comics Devil's Tales at MrAndersin.com.
Original music by Unicorn Heads for the YouTube Audio Library. This music is free for you to use on YouTube videos. Find the music in YouTube Audio Library in the Creator Studio. Search Unicorn Heads.
And now on to the topic. The opinions expressed in the following broadcast are not necessarily those of IDEEvent Media LLC, its staff, contributors, or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised.
We should have played that at the beginning. Let me move that on over. All right, that's it, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the IDEEvent. I will see you back at 4 p.m. as I will be on the